Welcome everybody to a brand new series, The Wheel of Albums. In this brand new series, I'll be spinning a wheel comprised of 104 different albums, but there's a catch. This isn't just any wheel with a bunch of different albums on it. Also ingrained in this wheel are 5 different punishments. The first being, what, you think I'm just going to tell you off the bat? Stick around and find out, man. I think I've done my part in explaining this series, so without further ado, let's get into the first ever Wheel of Albums spin. Got the wheel pulled up right here. Gonna let y'all get the first look at it.
Chase, Aaron May.
Chase by Aaron May. Alright, new day, ready to go. Let's do this thing. Houston rapper, songwriter, and producer Aaron May released his first full-length album titled Chase on February 28th, 2019. And this album was also fully produced by Aaron May himself. Alrighty, without further ado, let's kick this bad boy off with track number 1. The opening track of this album is titled Make It. This song is short and sweet, being only a minute 16 in length, and is nothing short of absolutely beautiful in my opinion, with a really calm piano melody being filled in with Aaron May's vocals, which are absolutely heavenly. Aaron May showcases super uplifting and heartwarming lyricism on this track, saying how he hopes that everybody will make it far in their lifetime. He says that he's praying for others on this track in hopes that the Lord can heal their past scars. He also makes a point on how you should care about yourself the most and not other people. Track 1, Make It, was a really good tone setter for this project in my opinion, as I really enjoyed listening to it. And with that, we are 1 for 1. Let's move on to track number 2. Track number 2, Dreams, has a really wavy sounding beat to it, sampling Piero Piccioni's It's Possible. If you happen to be a Lucky fan watching this video, this is the same sample that he used on his song Waiting On. Don't worry DJ Khaled fans, I got y'all too, as it's also used in Jermaine's Interlude. You mean to tell me that DJ Khaled actually has fans? That's crazy. Alright, back to the track. It had a really enticing hook that kept my interest throughout. Aaron May, in my opinion, complements this laid-back beat really well, as he has an excellent flow throughout this track. On this track, lyrically, he's essentially rapping about how he's on top of the rap game, and also how getting there is no easy task. Not to mention his wordplay on this one is splendid as well, in my opinion. And then towards the midway point of this track, Aaron May just hits us with the nastiest flow switch just out of nowhere, where he continues his great wordplay until the track eventually comes to a halt. Track 2, Dreams, was another solid one in my opinion, and with that we are 2 out of 2. Let's move on to track number 3. Track number 3, In Love, starts off with a really depressing sounding beat, to where I can't help but think of a rainy day whenever I hear it, which was probably the weather during this song, as we see Aaron May getting over a breakup with his ex-girlfriend, as he's reminiscing over the great times that they had together. And because of that, he can't seem to get her out of his head at all. He also states that he thinks he could have done better in the relationship whenever he was in it at the time. Lastly, on this track, he talks about whenever he tries to go and get another girl, how even that doesn't seem to work just because he feels he has a strong love for his ex still. Track number 3, In Love, was just a really good breakup song in my opinion, and with that, we are 3 for 3, and let's get on to track number 4. Track number 4, Let Go, features a really chill and slow trap beat, where we hear Aaron May reflecting on his past, and also how in the past he was taken advantage of a lot of times, but he ultimately chose to not let that get to him or affect him, and ultimately put the past behind him. Later into this track, he describes how fame can sometimes become super overwhelming to someone, just because of how people are in your face a lot of times. And he ties this track off by saying how ultimately he's thankful for the lifestyle that he's been given, because he realizes that it could be a lot worse for him. Track number 4, Let Go, was valid in my opinion. With this, we are 4 for 4, and let's get on to track number 5. Track number 5, Cream. Production-wise, isn't really that different from the previous 4 tracks, as it maintains that kind of laid-back and mellow style. And on this track, we see a negotiation going on between some guy and Aaron May. And Aaron May is saying how he finessed the guy into getting him to pay double the price. He turned that whole scenario into a sick baseball bar, saying, "He asked me for a ballpark price, I pitched him double." He even talks about how he served a fiend by the corner store in order to make a quick buck. And over time, Aaron May just kept doing this, and that's what made him a good amount of money at such a young age. Track number 5, Cream, was a really chill song in my opinion, and that's going to bring us to 5 for 5. Let's move on to track number 6. Track number 6, Focus, is an interlude, where the production on this one is a really simple melody with some Rhodes chords, which honestly isn't my favorite. Going into this track, I was expecting Aaron May to keep this kind of mellow tone that he's had for the past 5 tracks, but in return got quite the opposite. In my opinion, Aaron May's rapping doesn't really go together with this kind of beat. The kick drum too, once it comes in, sounds kind of offbeat in a way and sort of just threw everything off for me. And Aaron May on this one lyrically just kind of sounds okay at best. Track 6, Focus, was the first miss in my opinion. That's gonna bring us to 5 for 6, and let's move on to track 7. Track 7, Understood, starts off with this really faint piano, which features some really bouncy trap drums as well. Aaron May on this track has a really fun and catchy flow in my opinion. Subject-wise on this one, Aaron May is talking about his girlfriend who doesn't really seem to fully understand him yet, and vice versa, and how she doesn't see him for who he really is. We get another great flow switch on the midway point in this track from Aaron May, just like we did on the second track, Dreams, earlier, where Aaron May is saying how he saw firsthand what having too much attention can ultimately do to somebody. And the closing section of this song drops into a slowed down version with the hook, which is a nice send-off in my opinion. Track number 7, Understood, was another highlight in my opinion, and with this we are 6 for 7. Let's move on to track number 8. Track 8, I'm Good Luv, Enjoy. We're hit with just a complete mood switch from the previous track, switching from indecisiveness over to just straight up beef with his girl. Aaron May on this one gives us a hook that's nice and groovy, with a simple yet catchy beat. On the track, Aaron May is saying how he doesn't have the time for her and how he wants her out of his face altogether. He also, on this track, speaks on how in the past girls would run away from him, basically. But now that he's rich, it's become the opposite. We have yet another great track with I'm Good Luv, Enjoy. That's going to bring us to 7 out of 8. Let's move on to track 9. Track 9, One For Me, has a really interesting beat, which also has a nice swing to it. Aaron May, in my opinion, has a super catchy hook on this one. This is another relationship-related song, where Aaron May sees this girl that likes him. However, he claims he was too young at the time to pursue a relationship, being only 17, and how ultimately he wanted to focus on himself and his rap career at that time. And Aaron May on this one comes in with such an enticing flow that I couldn't help but bop my head to it. Yeah, track 9, One For Me, was another plus in my opinion. That's going to bring us to 8 out of 9, and let's move on to track number 10. Track number 10, Closed Hands, begins with a nice sounding E-piano melody along with some percussion in the background, as well as a chill bass line to go along with all of that. And on this one, Aaron May is telling us how he's put in countless hours of hard work into writing songs and just his rap career overall, and how he feels like he still hasn't done enough. He also mentions how he never had a father figure to push him to work harder. Near the end of this track, he states how not even a big house house or money or even clout can make him give up his purpose. This track wraps up by Aaron May explaining how he wants to change the trajectory of his struggling family's life and how he's going to do whatever it takes to get them there. Track 10, Closed Hands, had some really significant subject matter in my opinion and was just a really well put together track overall. And with this, we are 9 for 10. Let's move on to the final track, track number 11. Track 11, Chase, the title track of this album, is also short and sweet, just like the opener, this track being the shortest of the entire album. This track has no instrumentation or no beat to it at all, it's just Aaron May speaking. This track is kind of a full circle moment from the previous track, Closed Hands, as we hear Aaron May on this one explaining how he has done a lot in his lifetime, at only 17 years old, while also bringing up his past experiences and how those are long gone and far behind him. And this track is beautifully wrapped up by him saying that people should be grateful for all the things that they have in their life, whether they may be big or small. And yeah, overall, this track was just really fitting for a closer, in my opinion. And with all that, we are brought to our final ranking, which is 10 out of 11. Overall, Aaron May did a phenomenal job on this album, in my opinion. And I would highly recommend you give this project a listen, as it takes you through a whirlwind of different emotions. And for this album being only 27 minutes in length, Aaron May, in my opinion, did such a good job of jam-packing a huge amount of content onto such a small album. In my opinion, the best song was Dreams, and the worst song was Focus, even though Focus wasn't necessarily a bad song, it just wasn't on par with the rest of the tracks, in my opinion. And yeah, guys, that is going to bring the first ever Wheel of Albums episode to a closer. I know I'm excited for the rest of the series. I hope y'all are too. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're not, leave a like, drop a comment if you're feeling like it, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace out.